Sonny Corinthos is blindsided as shocking secrets explode in Port Charles. Natalia finally hands over damning evidence, but Sonny warns violence is coming. Meanwhile, Curtis lashes out in fury, and Martin gets terrible news about his health and finances. Brooklyn plots revenge as she secures Britt's original documents. Dante struggles to reconnect with Gio while Cody's con against Ava spirals. Christina's secrets weigh on Elizabeth, and Ava uncovers Rick's betrayal. As the week ends, Sonny faces a jaw-dropping event, possibly at Daisy's christening. With wedding plans, revenge plots, and dangerous deals ahead, GH fans won't want to miss a second. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital early spoilers June 30th to July 4th. Sonny reels from shock and Curtis unleashes fury. General Hospital spoilers for June 30th to July 4th, 2025 see Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, is stunned and Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, is lashing out in an extreme way. And as we always do on early edition day, we're going to start with what is happening the rest of this week. And just a little side note, be prepared for news interruptions. There's bombing and stuff going on, and we've seen the CBS soaps interrupted, and the ABC could be. And if it is interrupted and there's a preemption, be sure and check your DVR programming to make sure that you don't miss one. General Hospital spoilers, Martin's bad news, Dante's dilemma, and Alexis' concerns. Alright, hopping into what's coming. Wednesday, June 25th, we've got Martin Gray, Michael E. Knight, getting bad news. Now, his whole week has been rough. He's in the hospital getting his back checked out because he lunged for that receipt that Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, was holding and he just took a fall. It was very embarrassing. So, he could be getting bad news about his achy-breaky back or about Elizabeth Weber, Rebecca Herbst, deciding not to pursue a personal injury suit for the SUV car crash. Or, it could be more alimony demands from his many exes thanks to Tracy Q. Plus, Martin has a talk with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, who comes to see him at the hospital. And Martin tells Rick, if anybody can irritate her, it's you. And it sounds like he wants Tracy to poke and prod. I mean that he wants Rick to poke and prod at Tracy, which would be pretty funny. General Hospital spoilers. Dante pushes BLQ. Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, goes to see Brooklyn, Amanda Sutton, and tells her that they really need to work together to get through to their son, Gio Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza. He doesn't want to talk to either one of them. And of course, they're not the ones who were keeping the secret that he was growing up right under the nose of his bio mom and dad. And I do agree they do need to work together. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, won't like that. And that's one more reason they should do it. Plus, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, stops by General Hospital for a chat with Elizabeth. So, I'm wondering if Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, told her mom, Alexis, that Liz knows that she cut the brake lines and that Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, asked her not to go to the cops. So, Alexis may be seeking reassurance from Liz that she really won't tell the police, and she may want to thank her. And of course, I think Elizabeth's rationale is simply because Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, died. But Liz warned Christina, don't do anything else or I will go to the cops. And we know Christina is pulling this Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, con on Ava Jerome, Maura West. So that could come back around to bite Christina. Cody's orders, Marco's delivery, and Ava's accusations, GH twists unfold. And speaking of the local cowboy, Cody obeys orders on Wednesday. And it may be about Christina and the whole Ava seduction scheme. Or it could be something about Tracy, because it looks like he is having a talk with her. He asks if his job is already done, and Tracy wants to discuss payment. You remember Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, actually cooked this thing up with Cody, which I thought was pretty brilliant. Marco Rios, Adrian Anchondo, delivers something to someone. A very vague spoiler. It might be about his mom, Natalia Rogers Ramirez, Eva LaRue, DUI case, and the deal that she's supposed to be cutting with D.A. Turner, Nazanin contractor, to testify against Sonny. Or maybe he is sending flowers to his boyfriend, Lucas Jones Van Hansis. Speaking of, Elizabeth asks Lucas if he thinks that she is leading Rick on. Now, I think that Liz letting Rick breathe the same air that she's breathing leads Rick on. But that's on him, not her. Meanwhile, Ava calls somebody a lying liar, and it may be Rick. I wonder if she finds out he's been flirting with Liz, or maybe she figures out that Cody is running a con on her. Plus, Sonny asks someone what their answer is, and it may be about Natalia taking that relocation deal to get away from the Port Charles PD and her looming DUI trial. Carly's worries, Lucas's advice, and Dante's new perspective, General Hospital drama intensifies. Then on Thursday, June 26th, we have got Carly Corinthos Spencer, Laura, right, talking to Sonny, but she leaves that conversation quite worried. Carly may be all up in arms about the Sonny versus Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda thing because Sidwell has made clear he wants Sonny's peers and he'll stop at nothing until he runs him off. Marco is aiding and abetting in that. Lucy Lynn Herring, was trying to convince Sonny. So Carly may butt in, and when she does, she usually messes things up. She may get Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna involved. We'll see. Lucas gets some advice from Lulu, and it could be romantic advice about his relationship with Marco. And Brooklyn sees something that she definitely does not like. And I wonder if it's her son, Gio, talking to her enemy, Lulu. Plus, Dante gets a different perspective on things. He gets some food for thought from Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and this likely involves Gio and maybe how to approach him. I mean, like him or not, Jason's been a deadbeat dad for years. Meanwhile, Dante was just in the dark. So, maybe he's going to have some advice from a dad who's not been good and who's trying to be better, given to a dad who's always been better and is now struggling because he's been seen in a bad light. Plus, Marco gets some new info. This could be about Natalia and Sonny. Maybe Natalia tells him she's going to take Sonny's deal. I wouldn't mind seeing her jetting out of Port Charles for good. GH Friday cliffhangers, Carly's memories, Anna's interrogation, and Sonny's shocking event. On Friday, June 27th, we've got Carly reminiscing with Jason. I wonder if they're talking about Michael's childhood and her lying to keep him away from AJ Quartermaine, Sean Cannon, with Jason's help because Carly just brought that very thing up to Michael in regard to him keeping Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, away from their kids. Anna is put on the spot. She's asked some very hard questions, and it may be about Sonny. Maybe it's D.A. Turner pushing on her. Then we've got Daisy's christening event on Friday. Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson, and Michael and the families are there, and there may be danger from that mystery stalker who may or may not be working for Sidwell. There's going to be a huge shock for Sonny, and I wonder if it is at the christening. Could be some kind of attack, or maybe they arrest him at that big family event. I guess it all depends on what Natalia decided. Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, and Brooklyn uncover something on Friday, and it may be about Britt Westbourne's Kelly Thibault, past with Rocco Falsaroni, Finn Francis Carr. The groundwork is being laid for Kelly Thibault's return in July. General Hospital July spoilers, revenge plots, wedding plans, and contract changes. The week of June 30th through July 4th, we've got Brooklyn pondering her next steps now that she and Chase found out something and Marco should be delivering that original birth certificate that she wanted. Brooklyn is getting closer and closer to getting revenge on Lulu, but it may hurt some other people as collateral damage when she does it. Sonny's going to face some fallout from that huge shock at the end of the prior week. And Carly is very eager to help Sonny. But as we know, Carly tends to make things worse when she gets overly involved. Dante switches gears. After that talk with Jason, after the talk with Brooklyn, we could see Dante taking a whole different approach to getting Gio to open up and let him in his life. Marco makes a big decision that week and Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, goes on the offensive against Curtis and Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr. Now that Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, has spilled the beans and Drew knows Curtis and Portia are searching for Jacinda, Paige Herschel, to get her to lie about him. Expect Drew to act out in worse ways. Trina Robinson, Tabiana Ollie, is likely going to be upset at Kai over this. Willow is busy planning her wedding and Sidwell is busy plotting to take down both Sonny and Jason. He needs them out of the way. The 4th of July episode should be an encore episode. That's generally what the ABC soap does. So, wait and see. Also, this plan to seduce Ava might be Cody's last hurrah before we see him far less because Josh Kelly has been pushed back to recurring. He is no longer on contract. So, I guess that also means no romance with Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, unless it happens off-screen. General Hospital Wednesday, June 25th recap. Brook Lynn scores Rocco's original Ben Westbourne birth certificate. General Hospital recap for Wednesday, June 25th, reveals that Marco Rios, Adrian Anchondo, gave Brook Lynn Quartermain, Amanda Seton, a copy of Ben Westbourne's birth certificate along with a second copy after all the Rocco Falconeri, Finn Carr, updates. Once Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, showed up, Marco headed out. Dante wanted to work together with Brook Lynn and find a way to reach Giovanni Mazza, but she felt they had to be patient. Meanwhile, Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, turned down Tracy Quartermain's Jane Elliott payment since he enjoyed Drew Kane's Cameron Matheson setback and didn't take money when the favor was for a friend. At the Metro Court Pool, Gio showed Rocco and Danny Morgan, Asher and Tonizan, the ropes on their first day as pool attendants. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, embarrassed Rocco by showing up to watch him work. Once Tracy arrived, Lulu pushed her to give Rocco a big tip. Gio had to scold Danny and Rocco on a few things, including their attempt to get in the pool after their shift. Tracy ultimately took Rocco and Danny home before Dante showed up hoping for a moment alone with Gio. Back with Brook Lynn, she was looking over all the birth certificate info that Marco delivered when Rocco and Danny popped up. Rocco asked if Brook Lynn was working, so she claimed she was and hinted about a special project. At the law office, Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, admitted to Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grawn, that Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, blabbed the crash truth to Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst. However, Christina pointed out that Liz wasn't going to say anything. When Alexis pushed Christina to give up her scheme with Cody, her daughter refused. Christina also didn't think it was a good idea to tell Elizabeth about Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, and Ava Jerome's Maura West blackmail plot. Later, Cody met with Christina, who urged him to drop the news to Ava that Lucky left town. Christina knew Ava wouldn't like the fact that Rick didn't tell her. Christina felt confident that with Rick sniffing around Elizabeth, Ava wouldn't stand for being the consolation prize. Cody just had to make Ava see that she had better options. During Laura Collins' Jeannie Francis' visit to the gallery, she noticed Ava was drinking dragonberry juice. Ava said Rick got her hooked, so Laura recalled Liz drinking it with him at her house the other day. Afterward, Ava got Rick's assistant on the phone and made up an excuse to inquire about the day Rick supposedly went to Beecher's Corners for a case. Once Ava got confirmation that Rick didn't go there, she knew he went to Liz's place instead and fumed over him being a liar. When Cody showed up next, he offered to hang art for Ava's new exhibit since her other guy fell through. Cody opened up about his childhood experience with art and managed to work it into the conversation that Lucky left the country. At the hospital, Elizabeth told Rick she didn't have time to talk, but he pointed out that he was there for a client. Since Rick had been visiting Liz so often lately, she'd just jumped to the wrong conclusion. Elizabeth eventually worried to Lucas Jones Van Hansis about whether she might be leading Rick on. In Martin's room, he underwent an examination for his back injury. Martin wanted to sue Tracy, but Rick didn't think he had a real case, and Martin definitely couldn't afford Rick's $15,000 retainer fee. Martin's issues went from bad to worse when he found out his insurance had lapsed, so he was no longer covered. Back with Marco, he spoke to Lucas over the phone as they made plans to watch the sunset at the pool. Marco also quizzed Lucas about his time at GH with Britt and said her name came in a case recently. Alexis tracked Liz down at the hospital, so they stepped away to speak privately. Elizabeth confirmed she wouldn't say anything about Christina's car sabotage, so Alexis was grateful, especially since she knew her daughter deserved prison. Since Elizabeth thought Christina had learned her lesson, she was okay with burying the secret. After Liz mentioned Rick seeming lighter and happier these days, Alexis seemed like she wanted to say something about the blackmail. Rick appeared nearby and began spying on the interaction. At Sonny Corinthos' Maurice Bernard, he pressured Natalia Ramirez, Eva LaRue, for an answer since they were running out of time. Natalia finally handed over her safe deposit key box and let Sonny know the proof against him was inside. Sonny played up the lovely house and new life Natalia would have once she relocated to Belize. Although Natalia could no longer have contact with her family, Sonny insisted he'd still be in touch and that he wouldn't abandon her.